Hey guys, what's up? It's Vampire Bride. And since it's the beginning of the year, the first video I've done this year, it's time for my collection update. 2021 was a pretty good year for gaming. We collected 202 games between 16 consoles. That's over 200 games this year. Not too bad. We mostly collected between PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 since getting our backwards compatible PlayStation 3 in August. We still have a PlayStation 1 and 2, but they get to be put away and get some room on our shelf since we have the backwards compatible PlayStation. I'm going to start off with some cool mentions. Speaking of shelf space, we got a new extra large media shelf to organize our games on because the other shelves they were on were starting to look like a cluttered mess. Definitely helped a lot with the organization, and we are able to actually fit more games in less space. This is my updated amiibo collection. I just read The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, so thought it would be awesome to see how similar the book and the game are. I'm not far into the game, but so far it's pretty similar. I bought the Pokemon Game Boy Advance games as repros because holy crap, Pokemon prices went through the roof. We've been doing a lot with Pokemon, from the Game Boy games to the DS to the Switch games, and yes, though the graphics are highly different, I love them all. This was also our first year going to Classic Games Fest in Austin, Texas, and we had an amazing time. We got quite a few different things to add to the collection. Symphony of the Night sealed. I have other versions to play, so this will stay sealed. It is probably the most expensive game we got all year. We got an AO1, BO1, and EO1 backwards compatible PlayStation 3. I've deleted the AO1 as seen in one of my previous videos, but I've yet to get to the BO1 or EO1. I'll get to them eventually. I have Toy Story 3 on the PlayStation Portable. It was the first game that we got this year, and I played through it. It's a pretty good game, cute little PSP game. Not a lot to it, but it was fun to play. We got Assassin's Creed Liberation. We already had the game, but we got the case to it to make the collection look better with all the cases instead of just the free games. We got God of War. We were given the case because the game store was just going to throw it away, and they knew that we were collectors and liked to have the cases for the games. So then we had to go out and spend $25 to go buy the game. But at least it's complete in box. Sadly, it's becoming harder and harder to get the games complete in box when it comes to DS games and Vita games. Game stores tend to throw away the case to save room on display or whatever, and they don't come together anymore. I got my first NES and Game Gear this year. The NES we got as a defective console, and we're able to change out the 72-pin connector and get it working. The Game Gear, on the other hand, still has some capacitors that need to be changed out that I haven't quite got to yet, but we'll definitely get to this year, and we'll be able to play my Game Gear games on it. One of the things we have been doing a lot this year is getting the defective consoles and fixing them. You get them for a fraction of the cost and you're able to fix them, get them complete and working again, and keep them for the collection, or resell them to get a little money to go game shopping. It is a little bit worrisome when you're getting the defective consoles, especially sight unseen on like eBay or something, because you really don't know what's wrong with it, and many times you find that there's a lot more wrong than is mentioned in the post. Someone will do anything to unload their junk to make a buck. Not to mention that because so many people are doing these buying defective consoles and fixing them for YouTube videos, they are actually becoming more expensive to get a defective console, buy the parts you need to fix it, than it would be to just get a new or working console. But it is fun to do, and many times we do find a good deal. I got my blue Epic Mickey paintbrush controller because it's freaking cool, and I mean it goes with the game, so why not? I also got 2 of the remaining couple of Xbox 360 controllers we need to have a complete collection. Not counting the ones that are super rare and very expensive, but a full collection of the regular ones. All that we should have left, if we have a full list, which is apparently really hard to actually find, a full list of the Xbox 360 controllers. According to the one we have, we only need a white Xbox 360 controller with the light gray thumbsticks. You would not think that is hard to find, but it actually is, because when you're looking on the internet, you cannot tell if they're the light sticks or the dark sticks many times. And not everybody knows that there is 2 different kinds, so when you ask somebody, they don't know what you're talking about. This one is referred to the S-type white controller. There's also an early edition white controller that has the metallic silver at the bottom of the controller that, again, you can't tell in pictures very well if that's the right one or not. So finding these 2 has been a little bit difficult. Also, pretty much no store around here ever has any for sale except for maybe a regular black one every now and then. And I have seen one with the darker gray thumbsticks on the white controller. But yeah, we've had no luck trying to find these 2 controllers that should be very simple and common, you would think. As with every year when I do my collection update video, I picked out 5 games from the haul from the year to do a little mini review about, mention some things about. It's games that, you know, we found fun that year or were good finds or whatever special thing about that game. So here are my 5 games from this year's list. Alright, first up we have Mr. Mosquito for the PlayStation 2. We were given it as a gift for Christmas, and it's a fairly rare game. You fly around as the little mosquito character, aiming to suck the blood of the humans. Your goal is to get your fill without getting caught or avoid getting hit while getting back to your challenge. This is a goofy little game, but can be fun for a bit. There is a second game to it, but it is Japanese only. This quirky little game was first released in 2001. Mr. Mosquito was called one of the top 10 weirdest games of all time by Game Informer in 2008. And I feel like this game definitely fits that description. The next game I have is Killer Queen Black on the Switch. This game is derived from the arcade game. We had played it at an arcade one day and really loved it. After looking it up, we learned that Killer Queen Black was available for PC and Switch, and got it right away on both. I'm recording it now off the PC. It has 2 to 8 player competitive online play, 5 on 5 in the arcade. The strategic game has 3 different ways to achieve victory: economic, military, or snail victory. Workers can return berries to their base for economic victory. Military victory is achieved by killing the opponent's queen 3 times, by running, flying around, trying to hit it, or just dive bomb it with their little sword. If you as the queen are killed, you respawn instantly and continue. The snail victory is achieved when you defend your snail and allow one of your workers to ride the snail to their base. Workers can upgrade to soldiers as well. And economic victory is achieved by getting all the berries on your team's side into their holes. It is challenging to watch everything going on around you and try to actually do what you're supposed to be doing. You'll be focused on killing the opposing queen if you are the queen, and before you know it, there are berries in the holes or the workers have ridden the snail home. It's a lot going on at once, but it's a really fun game. The next game or games on this list are Pokemon Sword and Shield. So I mentioned there has been a lot about Pokemon this year. Let's face it, it is huge for those in their 20s right now. Whether it be picking it up for the first time because there are so many new Switch games that came out recently, or for nostalgic purposes. I started out with the Switch games, playing Shield, which I finished and have gotten just about every Pokemon on the Pokédex. Then I started Sword, and am most of the way through it, but started playing Pokemon on the Game Boy and the DS, so I haven't picked it up much lately. This game looks good and has most of the normal and expected Pokemon features. It doesn't do the usual random encounters really though. At times you run into a Pokemon when you aren't trying to, but usually you have to be trying to run into it. It also incorporates Pokmon Camping, where you can play with and cook for your party Pokemon and get them closer to leveling up. This is not necessary and I don't use it much, but it's a fun feature, especially for kids that are playing the game. There are 400 Pokemon to add to your Pokédex in Sword and Shield, each having a few different than the other, but of course some of those are the starter Pokemon, or super rare to find. Many only found in very specific places or under certain weather conditions and times of day. Pokemon can hold items or learn moves, and there's a Pokemon nursery where you can leave 2 Pokemon and come back for an egg to hatch a baby Pokemon, sometimes at least. The wild area is usually the best place to find Pokemon, but of course many are location specific and found in other places across the map. You can fast travel by flying taxi to places that you've already been. And of course there are 8 badges to collect by solving the puzzles and beating the Pokemon gym leaders. During the gym leader battle, you are able to Dynamax your Pokemon. There are also Dynamax battles found in holes throughout the wild area. Next we have Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for the PlayStation 4. I am much more used to Mario Kart, so trying to play this took some getting used to. Though they have many similarities, they control much differently, and Crash is harder in general, and because you have to win the race to progress. The original Crash Team Racing is on our list of wanted games. We just haven't gotten to it yet, as the list is long and ever changing as we add more. I grew up playing Mario Kart. It is my talking mess, I can definitely beat you at this game. But Crash Team Racing has its own allure and a story. It is fun, fast-paced, and fascinating because of its beautiful graphics and detail. It has 31 thrilling tracks that are set to encourage power sliding or drifting. It keeps the original 22-year-old game intact but adds some improvements. Crash Team Racing runs quite a bit faster than Mario Kart. I've seen hard mode described as insurmountable. I wouldn't know. Normal is hard enough for me with this game. Yeah, I know. Just get good. It's rated at 8.2 out of 10 from IGN and 83% Metacritic. It has customizable vehicles from the paint jobs to the body and wheels. There's boss races, unlockable characters, wheels, bodies, etc. All with the adorable, lovable, and kooky Crash characters. Next we have a game that was played quite a bit this year, Ghost of Tsushima for the PS4. This game was published in 2020. It's an action-adventure game from third-person perspective, inspired by real events, but it's fiction. This is an open-world game which you can be guided by wind direction if you need guidance as to where to go next. The development team actually enlisted real but modern samurai to create Ghost of Tsushima. You play as Jin Sakai, the protagonist, a samurai warrior, whose task is to remove Mongols who have overtaken the island of Tsushima and take back control. This game can take anywhere from 25 to over 60 hours to complete. You can change your armor throughout the game. There are 13 sets as well as a bunch of other gear. The 13 sets of armor come with different abilities and perks, but the other gear is just cosmetic, and the armor is upgradable. You ride around on horseback, and if there is a place that is tough to get to, you have a grappling hook. There are multiple weapons that you have to use, such as a katana and your bow. Or you can use stealth mode. There are many side quests along the way, making this into quite a long game, and you collect supplies along the way. There are optional mini-games throughout the game called Bamboo Strike. Once performed properly, it raises your resolve, helping you gain back health and use your special abilities. The difficulty settings are adjustable throughout the game. There is now a director's cut on the PlayStation 5, continuing the story and adding updates. This is definitely a highly recommended game that has been a lot of fun around here. I can't finish off this video without one extra game, because it has been a blast running around collecting babes in Blasto on the PlayStation 1. An action platformer third-person shooter published in 1998. Blasto was one of the last things that Phil Hartman, the voice of Blasto, worked on before his murder in May of 1998. This game got a rap as being a highly difficult game. It's not one of the most glamorous games, but during the development of Blasto, none of PlayStation's graphics were used. Instead, models were built in Elias using lower-level programming and tools. It feels a little bit clunky. You play as Blasto, who is fighting against the evil Bosk as he tries to enslave space babes. You explore Uranus, also known as falling off platforms to your death and getting shot by teleporting aliens, saving the babes, and listening to Blasto's humorous remarks.
What a piece of this, Buckeyes!
So basically, 2021 was a heck of a year, and I'm excited to see what 2022 brings. So far this year, I've been more focused on playing the games out of the collection that we do already have. But of course, there will be games added to the collection throughout the year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, and of course, subscribe for more videos to come. Nobody's here to wave goodbye. How rude. Well, bye-bye. Are you gonna bite me? Yeah, bye-bye. Here's your pretty boy. Here's your pretty boy. Don't mind yourself, pretty boy.